I almost called you a nigga just now, because what the fuck are you talking about?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Slandertime. Today, the main event here is all the Moon Knight comics that have shaped this character's personality, because Moon Knight is a very interesting character within comics, and he's unique in that, as far as he has been created, his history starts in about the 1980s. His origin and his personality has changed so drastically over the years, to the point where it can be a bit confusing if you want to jump into modern Moon Knight comics or even just have a firm idea of who this character is. So I got 3 runs together here. Starting off with the DeMatteis run. DeMatteis is one of my personal favorite writers. I had some worries going into this because it's very different than every other comic that we've read so far. What did you think about it, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to be nice about this. Why the fuck would you recommend it?
What do you think is bad about it?
No, it's not bad.
I think the character arc he undergoes is very good. I think it is a well-written character arc. It introduces you to an era of his life where there were not a lot of good Moon Knight comics from this era. But I think it's important to understand that there was an era where Mark Spector was Moon Knight. There were no alter personalities. He was just a rich guy that was basically like Batman, but like a more emotional, conflicted Batman. That gives you his character depth in an era where he didn't have a lot of character depth. So I thought, recommend this. That's a good starting point. You obviously disagree. So talk to me. What's wrong with this story?
Pretty simple, Riley. It's a whole lot of depth, a whole lot of emotion that I didn't ask for. I don't know this motherfucker. All that information you wanted inside his brain, I don't know this fucking character. I don't give a shit about what he's gone through and about his fucking personal problems right now.
That's true.
That was the first story you gave me, is this fucking Klansman, by the way.
His Klansman.
That was the first one you gave me. I'm flicking page through page. His whole moral dilemma and shit.
I need a moment to think here. Alright, so what do you normally value in a good, complex character arc? What do you want to see to get you attached to a character? So I can understand this for the future and this doesn't happen again.
Oh, the thing is, by itself in a vacuum, it's not the worst thing ever. I could appreciate what was on the page, but we have to add the factor of I don't know this.
You don't think they did a good job introducing him at the start of the story?
Hell no.
You want me to give you more Moon Knight is what I'm hearing. You want to get his origin right off the bat.
No more.
You know why I didn't give you his origin? Because they give you his origin in the Lemire run, and it's treated as a mystery as to what exactly happened to him. So I thought framing it like that would give you a more interesting reading experience because it's more unique. You don't get a lot of heroes where you don't get their origin right away, and you have to piece it together through the character's own fragmented memory. That is an interesting way to tell a story to me. Apparently, you hate it.
No, I didn't need his origin. I got enough.
Okay, then what did you need?
Enough. He did some bad shit, and he's trying to make up for it.
He's a mercenary, in his own way. And he's making up for it by basically being a Batman type figure. What more do you need than that?
I didn't need his fucking backstory. I'm saying I didn't give a shit about this character at all.
Okay.
To have his mental psyche. That was the first thing I seen in this motherfucker.
If Moon Knight was just replaced with Batman here, would this be a good story to you?
We need to remember one thing.
Yeah.
I'm going into this with knowledge on Batman.
I get it. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand.
The goalpost isn't necessarily at the same.
Okay.
I think I knew about when I go into this. The motherfucker has Khonshu in his head. Mm-hmm. He got different fucking people in his shit. Yeah. He didn't have it this run, I guess.
Well, Khonshu is the whole point of the story. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the split personalities at the start of his story because he's just in that identity of Mark Spector. Moon Knight will be in certain identities for a long period of time, as you can tell with the next one, which is Mr. Knight. He's in a completely different identity there, too.
It's less like a Klansman.
He's wearing a suit, bro. Klansmen, to my knowledge, are not that well dressed. What do you think of the writing itself? It's more literary than what we've seen in the past. And I'm not going to lie, when you just told me that you did not like it, I was like, oh man, this motherfucker didn't want to read all those speech bubbles. That's the problem.
It wasn't necessarily reading wasn't the issue. It's just, give a fuck.
I see.
It's I was like, why do I want to read this shit?
Did you care about the villain at all either, or no?
At the start, I was truly wondering, I was like, what is wrong with this bitch? I knew there was something wrong there.
Right.
The moment that she stabbed that motherfucker, he fell into the water. I was like, I don't like this shit. No.
Because he was sorry, bro? Is that why?
No, not because he was sorry. I was like, God damn, she's been a problem this whole time. She had him
Yeah.
tweaking out, talking in his mind and shit. I was like,
Right.
she on something.
Yeah.
Then she stabs him, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I should have done that." Some people need
Okay.
redemption, but not me. Not me. I was like, okay, what
That's
happened
that's
later
a
on?
complex character. That's interesting,
No, I
right?
know, I know, I know, I know. But
Yeah. All
then
right.
she goes back to the river. I was like, oh shit, hold on, this character moving. This character moving on something.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's dead. I can't find him. And then like the whole little final issue. I was like, yeah, I don't.
To me,
It's so much.
Scarlet is just a representation of Mark's character arc throughout this. And I guess I get it because this whole story, the whole purpose is to transform Mark and give him an understanding of his purpose, just in life in general. And if you don't care about him before this, I can see why that would fall flat. Because you're like, I don't give a fuck about his purpose. I don't even know what his basic deal is. Right? Is that how you were thinking? I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. Maybe this one's on me then. Maybe because I do think this is a good story. When Stained Glass Scarlet stabs him and he falls into the water and he flashes back through his entire life, is reborn basically by Khonshu and also by his own just sheer desire to live. Like that's a top 10 Moon Knight scene for me. He's not just like Batman where it's like he's vengeance. He is this shadow of redemption. He wants to see people get better. He wants to take people in. There's a scene with the church where he's like, it would either take a miracle or $1 billion to do that. And Moon Knight says, maybe both. Maybe I'll do both. And then he just walks off. And that's just like a great encapsulation of what is so cool about Moon Knight's character to me. He fights all these crazy monsters and demons and just bad people in general with the power of Khonshu, but he really, from this arc, believes in redemption. And that's why I picked it as a good starting point.
You managed to change my heart just a little bit.
But I think scenes like Mark, going through the water, flashing back, all the stuff with his religion as well, because he's Jewish. But I don't know why I said but there.
I don't know where you're going with that, but all right.
No, he has these lessons of religion early on that he kind of teaches to these criminals and also to himself. He reinforces it to himself by teaching it to these criminals. Like the bit with the snake in issue 1 that goes towards this village and wants to repent because it feels sorry for biting all these people and causing all this misery. He lets himself get beaten up because that's what he's told to do by his god. The god is like, I told you not to bite. I never told you not to bare your fangs. Never told you not to hiss. That's a good piece of characterization to me to help me understand that this guy is like a really idealistic character, but he's trying to implement those ideas into his life in a really interesting way. You even have the one scene where he admits when he was younger, he thought his dad, who was a rabbi, was stupid for believing in this religion the way that he did, because he thought if there is a God, then this whole world and how corrupted it is doesn't make any sense. And those are ideas I can relate to personally, so that's another thing that got me into the character. Did you relate to any aspect of his character at all?
I spent most of that time reading cursing you.
Oh my god! Even after everything I said, that doesn't recontextualize it too much too.
No, it does a little bit. I'm just telling you why I wasn't going to see none of this shit in the moment. I was cursing you actively as I'm reading this shit. It wasn't the worst in its own.
Gotcha.
Just for me, hell no.
What is your rating for it? For Scarlet Redemption?
I'll put it while I'm hating, I'll give it like a 6. Recontextualize, and I'll give it like a 7.5.
Oh, alright. So you think it's good. A 7.
Say that, but yeah.
A 7 means it's good. That is a good score, bro.
I mean, technically.
Technically, what do you mean? Welcome to Derry came out, the It show. We talked about that, and you're like, yeah, I liked it. I'll give it a 7.
I see you use my words against me. I'm not like it. Move on.
So you're telling me Moon Knight, Scarlet Redemption clears the It show?
Yeah.
Alright, bet. Alright, thank you, bro. I said, I give it an 8. I think this is a great story. I'm biased towards this writer. DeMatteis has written some of the greatest Spider-Man stories of all time. He's written this story right here behind me. I'm dick riding, you said?
You just admitted dick ride. What the fuck?
No. I'm saying I heard you say that, and I don't appreciate it. No. I don't like that shit. God damn it.
You were.
No, there was a question mark at the end of that fucking implied, bastard. Alright, I'm not letting you do this to me today. I gave the most complex character analysis of Mark through Scarlet Redemption, and you're gonna fucking hold me? Are you serious with this, bro? Oh my gosh. You know, you're lucky I did not give you one of the earlier Moon Knight comics, because if you hated this, that you would not enjoy, because he has other personalities basically, but it's just like disguises that he goes into. It's not even treated as a mental illness. It's like, that's a retcon, I think. I didn't want to do that just in general, because that just seems like a bad idea to me, man.
Good thing you didn't do that, because I best believe I would have texted you same day and told you we're not doing this.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame you. I don't like those stories either. I think this is the first really good Moon Knight story to me. That's above like a 7 out of 10. What do you think about the ending?
That bitch fell into the water? Give me after.
No, that's the halfway point. After Stained Glass Scarlet has been dealt with, and you get that aftermath issue.
Oh, the aftermath issue. That's
yeah, where he's with Marlene. Did you buy into any of Mark's relationships with the supporting cast?
No, I liked it. That I ain't gonna lie. John Paul and motherfucking
Jean Paul.
Marlene.
yeah, it's a cool supportive system he got, man.
So I don't know why Marlene is fucking a goddamn super soldier. She was holding his ass up with one arm, by the way, off that helicopter.
I actually don't know. Man, I have to do some research into that. She might be like special ops or something, bro. That could make sense. Or Mark is just weak as hell.
she's gripping the ladder with her left hand and got his whole body in her right. I was like, I see his legs got wrapped up in the ladder. I was like, how the fuck did she do that? I was like, how the fuck did she do that so quick?
By the way, what do you think about the idea of Khonshu resurrecting him versus the idea of him coming back to life through sheer willpower?
Yeah, willpower sounds like fucking plotting it.
Khonshu feels more reliable.
Yes, because at the same, he did it before. It's also like the fucking moon god, I guess.
But it's also a commentary on religion. A lot of people who go through like a near-death experience will, thank God that they're alive. They don't look to their own efforts in getting out of that situation. They're like, thank God that my soul has been saved on this day. I think that's an interesting way of characterizing Mark's relationship to Khonshu during this time, because as you know, throughout the next few runs, his relationship with Khonshu will change pretty drastically. But for now, he's just thankful that he saved his life not only once, but seemingly twice now. But overall, like I said, I think this is a really solid story. Probably some of the best characterization for Moon Knight I have still seen to this day. They don't write him as complex as this anymore. Even though you can read these stories one after another and you can see the character evolve and it's natural, a lot of these scenes don't have all the emotions in play that this one does. So I would strongly recommend people check this out if they're interested in understanding the character of Moon Knight, not only on a basic level, but as he evolves from something of a Batman clone to this very complex individual.
Now, don't listen to me too much on that take.
Well, I also love this story, and it's okay. This story wasn't for you. You didn't feel attached to the character. You didn't buy in necessarily to any one aspect of the storyline. That's okay. I think this story is a classic. I would consider it a classic. Classics aren't for everybody, but they're a good basis for understanding why a character is special to people, or was special to people at one point in time. Now, moving on to the Warren Ellis run. This one's only 6 issues. It's pretty brief. And Mark, at this point in the story, is completely different. He has put himself into his work as a detective. He actually has a few different guises here, but they're all worshipping Khonshu. At one point, he has like this ghost armor that he uses to fight ghosts.
This is on the first issue. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember where it was.
Sure.
Or when. I don't remember if it was like he was hallucinating this shit or not, or if it was like a real doctor or whatever. He was like, yeah, you got brain damage to him.
Yeah.
I was reading the rest of that. I was like, oh, damn, I was just looking for it.
That is how the multiple personalities are explained in the modern day, actually. Because as I said originally, that didn't make a lot of sense. The original way they did it wasn't really representative of dissociative identity disorder, which is a very real affliction that people deal with. Warren Ellis decided to say, hey, this guy died and came back to life. In that resurrection process, he endured brain damage, which fragmented his mind. His death and resurrection, combined with the power of Khonshu entering his mortal body, caused him to break apart in these multiple identities. Throughout these next few stories, he has to kind of come to terms with that. But he's not coming to terms with that in these 6 issues. He is kind of just ignoring them and trying to find people to exact his vengeance on, serve Khonshu the best he can. Do you have a favorite single issue here? Does the story stand out? Because there's some pretty different adventures.
They're the ones I like the best.
Yeah.
There was the two that I remember off the top of my head the best
Yeah.
was the sniper story. He's like
Right.
looking for and then the second one was the one where that girl got kidnapped.
Yeah. That one has the best action, I think, for me. I remember the one panel from that story where it's just Moon Knight and his cape merges in with the white pages of the comic to fucking just take up like half the panel. It's a rectangular panel at the bottom of the page. It's so sick, man. He delivers a crazy one-liner there, too. What do you think about the mushroom issue where he goes to Mushroom Land?
You talking about the one where
He starts tripping, bro.
the doctor was fucking putting people to sleep and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that one I got dead ass like fucking. I got knockoff Scarecrow vibes off that shit. It's not the same, but I was thinking the Scarecrow the whole time.
I like that it's self-contained, though. You can do these superhero tropes, and you can experiment with the genre and do a bunch of different things, and it'll still feel like just a one-off Moon Knight story. He could just go have madness happen to him for an issue, because anything can happen in these stories. What do you think of his persona here? Because he's not just the regular Moon Knight that we saw in Scarlet Redemption. He is also Mr. Knight, who the police don't really like too much because he's going around solving their crimes for them. They're like, alright, what the fuck are we supposed to do then? Fuck this guy, actually. He has the superhero persona still. He has the ghost fighting persona. I think Mr. Knight has the coolest design. I just like the suit. It's like, it's such a stark contrast. Fuck you, Batman.
He was stepping out. He was stepping out with it. I was just thinking back to the sniper. I generally did like that one the best.
Yeah.
Like, the sniper storyline pretty much was it was just like this like mercenary hitman.
Yeah.
Who's working for this banking group, whatever.
They're fucking hoes.
And so he was like, they hold the shit out of him. Yeah. So he was going around pretty much getting his get back.
Right.
And then at the end of the issue, like
he got obsessed with him.
At the end of the issue, one of the other like people in the same unit finishes him off and was like, yeah, the bank always wins. I was like, oh shit. That was a cliffhanger. That got me. I was like, oh damn.
A lot of these have very strange endings on purpose. Because the whole point of this run is to show that after these experiences, Moon Knight doesn't get a resolution. He doesn't go home and become Mark Spector again, or Jake Lockley, or any of his personas. He just is Mr. Knight right now, or Moon Knight. That was probably the most unique part of the issues, because he'll just like solve the crime, and the last panel will be him just like going off into the night. You don't have any like happy endings, really. You kind of like feel bad for him, even though he just oral farm to beat the mess out of like a whole building of people. It's like somehow a little bit sad in the end there, you know?
It just felt like just every other day I was like, damn.
Right, like this is just his daily life. They're just showing you six examples of his daily life. What do you think about the ending to that one storyline where he says the bank always wins?
Y'all, my honest answer?
Yeah.
Capitalist engine. That always drives back to capitalism. That was my only thought process when he said that shit.
Right. What stuck with me was when the guy said the distant projection of death is power. I had to think about that for a second. I'm like,
oh no, what the fuck? Hold on. He's stepping out a little too hard now.
Because he's saying that if you have a gun, if you have weapons, that you can have control over people because you control their lives. And that's what people value above all else, you know? And that's why they got out of this career. Because they were very aware of that power taking over their lives and informing their decisions. To some extent, that resonates with Moon Knight and Mark too, because, I mean, he was a mercenary. That was his career. That was his fucking day job, right? Even as Moon Knight, he's also aware of that. He wears the white costume so people have that threat of him always in their head. So much good character work and good action happens in each and every one of these issues, except for maybe the mushroom one. He just kind of beat up a guy who's causing hallucinations. But it was still sick, you know, where he's floating off into outer space.
Oh, I was caught like a little left field. I was guessing the complete wrong way.
What'd you guess?
I was guessing it was going to be like some sort of like institute or some shit that was just murking people.
Oh, damn. And it was just a guy.
I didn't realize she had a vendetta. That thought did not cross my mind at all.
I mean, people got plenty of reason to hate Moon Knight, especially when he has more of a presence now than ever. I think like back in that 80s run, if someone had beef with him for being Moon Knight, that would be kind of a bit of a stretch, unless it was very personal. But now, I mean, he's working with the police to put everybody away, bro. I mean, he's... Holy shit. In one of these issues, he, like, takes out an entire building of mobsters. Like, 50 people. Just to, you know, save one person. So, I could buy that there's a sniper after him.
He's also a menace.
In what way?
That same issue you just reminded me. I just remembered. The
Yeah.
issue he was in that building to save that girl. He dropped this little plain bird shit on somebody.
Oh yeah,
Straight
he
up.
did do that.
It's like, holy shit.
His moon jet. He fucking owed that person, bro. Yeah, no, that was the action highlight of probably all the runs we're gonna talk about today. That might be one of the best action, like, single chapters / issues of a comic I've ever seen, man. Just because it's like, he's got that style to it, man. He's walking up just completely white. Everyone can see him coming. And he's just destroying everybody in, like, terrible ways. Until he rescues the person. And then he's gentle and it's calm and he just goes about his day. And that's, again, I think the most interesting part, beyond all the action and the great art by Declan Shalvey. The most interesting part of this whole run is how it cuts off in the end, and it becomes just another day in the life of this character. And you start to feel bad for him, even though you see the coolest shit ever happen. Because it's Moon Knight. I don't know. I don't get that same effect with Batman at all. Even though it's technically probably the same, I get the sense that being Batman fulfills him. And in these 6 issues, I don't get the sense that he's fulfilled with what he's doing. Do you?
I don't know. You think of comparing it to Batman, it generally just feels a little different.
It is different. You're right. But
it just straight up feels different. Like, not even like sense of fulfillment kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like, it's like Batman doesn't necessarily need to feel anything from succeeding.
I see.
But like, it's not all the way true. But at the same time, it's like, even if he didn't feel anything from it, he'd still feel he has to do this.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing is Batman is a very emotional character, and so is Moon Knight, which is why it feels so wrong when you have these issues where nothing really distracts him or dissuades him from just being soulless and emotionless, you know? You don't have a moment where he, like, sheds a tear or he, like, gets really fucking angry. If anything, it's the villains who get angry at him for not showing those emotions. Like, Black Spectre gets so pissed off that he's not going to the next level against him. There's plenty of examples of that in anime, for example, where they're mad that the hero isn't taking it seriously, like Luffy against anyone, for example. But I don't think, in this case, he's doing that on purpose at all. He's just that fucking mentally drained because he's doing all this for Khonshu, going out into the night and fulfilling his God's will because he thinks that's what's going to give him purpose. It flows really well into the next run because that's when we figure out he was fucking wrong. Before we move on, I guess we should rate the Ellis run. I would give each one of these stories a solid 8 for me, honestly. What about you?
Put this at a 7.
A 7.
Thing is, like, you didn't really open my eyes to this. I already liked it. So
yeah, I get it. This isn't, like, deep. The only thing deep is about how he's emotionless, which is not deep in and of itself.
Yes, it's like you didn't really change, but you didn't really open my eyes to anything here, so nothing really changed.
Right. I just think these are really good action comics. That's what you're gonna get out of it. If you just like good action and superhero comics, then you'll like these issues. And if you like a feeling of kind of unfulfillment, if you want some complexity in that way to your superheroes, that's another thing this does really well. And it gets in, it gets out. There's nothing here that drags. It's just a lean machine, you could say. Moving on to the Jeff Lemire run. This was my favorite for a long time. I thought this blended both worlds of Moon Knight because it had the emotional complexity of James DeMatteis' run. It had the action and the unfulfillment and the complex mental issues that we just talked about, and it combined them and it managed them really well, I thought. And it wasn't overbearing, it wasn't like terribly paced, it was a longer story, but you're always moving towards something in this run. And you're constantly guessing what is real, what is actually happening, which after the kind of emotional nullification of the last issue where Mark makes himself feel nothing and not let any of his other personas in, it just becomes a really interesting kind of character study on Moon Knight for me, including all of his personalities, and it's at its core about a man that is accepting his mental issues for who he is and refusing to depend on somebody who he doesn't actually need anymore. Now, I'm so curious about this. I've been waiting for this whole episode. What is your take on this run? Why didn't you like it?
Didn't like it.
Yeah, why didn't you like it?
Good question.
Yeah, talk to me. What they do wrong here?
They're about to heat up when I say it.
Okay.
I was hating. That's it.
What?
Yeah, I was hating.
So, you think the first one is mid, you go to the second one, you're like, yeah, that's pretty good. And you go to this one, you're back to hating.
Yeah.
Why? You weren't improving.
Like, no, the whole time I was reading, I was like, so he's pretty much being gaslit by this fucker in his mind.
Yes.
His brain,
that is the premise.
His brain developed. I was like, damn. But next.
Alright, motherfucker, can you not handle metaphors? Alright, listen. First of all, it is not guaranteed that any of this is real. And that's what's interesting about it. You have him in a mental hospital. A mental hospital is not fucking real. Technically, by the way, you can't accept that this might just be all in his head. It might just be him figuring his life out and having an emotional collapse. Reconciling with everything that's led him to this point. And it ends on the rooftop. He accepts himself in a fucking peak moment, by the way. And you just said, nah, I choose to hate. Like, what? What are we doing? Why?
Yeah, exactly.
No, have an argument. I told you have an argument. Oh my god.
I never agreed I was going to have one. I just did. That's what happened. That's what happened. I told you it's going to happen. Like, everything you just said, it can be right. It can sound good. But best believe, I don't want to hear that shit.
Oh my god. All right.
I made up my mind. The moment that motherfucker start hallucinating, the moment that shit start happening, I said, you know what? Khonshu ain't real. Fuck it.
Okay. Khonshu is real. Khonshu brought him back from the dead. So obviously Khonshu is real.
No. Okay, so tell me from the shadow of doubt you knew Khonshu said everything he just said.
It's not. Alright, so you just don't like stories where you can't tell what's happening because of the character's mental state and perspective.
No, you just said that, right? You just said he doesn't know if Khonshu's real here. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
I said, do we know? He doesn't know, but do we know?
Yeah, we know Khonshu's real.
In this run.
Neither of us know that Khonshu is real in this run.
Okay.
We know that he exists in the past tense and that he gave Mark the ability to become Moon Knight because obviously he did. But we don't know if he is tormenting him in the mental hospital or if Mark is just tweaking.
What you're saying is we don't know if he's being abused by Khonshu or his own mental state.
Anything's possible, right? I mean, you have all the tools you need to solve it. I gave you all the runs that gave you necessary context. You can make your own conclusions. What do you think was happening?
I think he was getting beat up by this evil bird face nigga.
So you think Khonshu is real and he is just trying to escape Khonshu? I think that reading of it holds up mostly until the last scene. Well, you could say that because he accepts all the different personalities within himself, he is mentally healthy enough to resist Khonshu's possession of him. Because he says, I never needed you, and he crumbles to dust. You think that was real?
I think he bitched him up is what I think. He doesn't have to be real. I'm just saying, I personally believe he bitched him up. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think them niggas, I almost said it. I think he's still crazy. I think he's still crazy.
Yeah.
He's just not getting ran by Khonshu no more.
I see. Okay. Did you find the stories of the individual personalities within Mark's mind interesting? Like, you have Jake Lockley, the cab driver. You have Stephen Grant is the famous actor who's playing Moon Knight in a movie, and he's getting these visions. Like, personally, a lot of these other personalities are interesting stories just on their own. I mean, he fights fucking space werewolves. The whole art style shifts in the book for each of their perspectives, which helps you understand whose perspective is it coming from within Mark's mind. Like, the cab driver is, like, old-fashioned, like, very vibrant. The space shit is, like, very detailed. It's almost like it could be like an Alien comic or something. You have all these different personas just going on their own adventures, and they have to reconcile in some way within his mind. It makes a purely mental story really physical in an interesting way that I thought was super unique, because it's not even a superhero story for most of this. I also really like the paneling. You can tell when something really fucked up and weird is about to happen within his mind because the panels take the form of an exclamation mark. I haven't seen that in manga. I haven't seen that in American comics, but it's super cool that the panels themselves can play a part in conveying the story. There are a lot of interesting mental health messages here that make me think that maybe Khonshu isn't real. That is my perspective on this, honestly. That would be my take. I don't think Khonshu existed in the form that Mark is seeing him as throughout this. I think he's truly just having mental issues. When he asks, am I really just mad? When he asks that to Khonshu asks, does it matter? Because your madness is your gift and it's what's going to keep you alive. You need to stop fighting it, give into it, and let it guide you. That makes me think he's talking to himself, because I don't think The god Khonshu would actually say that. I think he would manipulate him in more subtle ways than that, and he's very explicit. But then when he says, I need you, my son, I need you, and you came to me against all odds, when he manipulates him into finding him, and then he asks for Mark's body, but he knows it's not gonna give it to him. So I think Khonshu probably did send him a message to be like, I am going to possess your mind because it's too weak right now. And maybe he has to go through this whole process of self-reflection to be stronger. But now, do you think Khonshu wants him to be mentally healthy, or does he want him to fall apart?
I know what that Egyptian motherfucker wants.
You don't have a guess?
No, I ain't think about that.
Obviously, having Mark be mentally healthy would benefit Khonshu because he can be Moon Knight more effectively.
Yes,
so that... I don't even think Khonshu wants him to be weak with that knowledge. I think he wants him to be strong. And it's like reverse psychology through sending these messages through his mind. And he wants him to maybe not move beyond him. I don't think the extent to which Mark heals in this run is what Khonshu actually wanted. But I think he would be okay with the result. I think he would know that this is a necessary step for Mark to heal the damage that was already a part of him when he first became Moon Knight. Moon Knight has always been a unique character with unique runs and unique ideas. I think these three stories exemplify that pretty fully, because none of them are the same. One of them is more interested in exploring psychological aspects of Moon Knight as parallel to his villains. One of them is focused on the solidarity that he feels when he fights and focused on the action, and one of them is focused on the story of mental health recovery and what that could look like for a superhero who has all these thoughts floating around inside his head. And overall, it makes it one compelling narrative to me, man. You can go from one to another and feel like this character has truly grown along this time. Alright, so what would you give this run out of 10?
Good 6.
A 6. Okay. I disagree very strongly with this notion.
You can disagree all you...
But it's okay. I give it an 8. I don't think we'll ever get another story like this in comics, in mainstream comics, certainly not, about just dealing with mental issues as a superhero in this way. Alright, we're going to move on to the rest of the series now. What are your top 3 single issues of the week?
Number 1, you're not going to like this actually. Number 1 was Green Lantern.
Oh, I agree with that.
Number 2 is Catwoman. Number 3 is Batman, and Daredevil's in last.
Damn. All right. I would say Absolute Green Lantern is also my top. But then I would go Daredevil number 2 because my goat shows up. Then Batman, and I have Absolute Catwoman last. Let's talk about Absolute Catwoman first then. Because we're very split on this. Some context, I don't think Catwoman is a super interesting character in general. She reminds me of Black Cat, and I also hate that bitch.
I know why you hate Black Cat. Besides the point. Right. What did you dislike about Absolute Catwoman?
We're gonna move on, bro. What'd you say?
I said, what'd you dislike about Absolute Catwoman?
I didn't dislike anything about it. I thought it was a solid start. But first of all, the difference, because all the Absolute characters have a difference between them and their mainline universe counterparts. The difference between Catwoman is just she succeeded in life, basically. She doesn't have Batman stopping her, so she lives in this mansion. She has like a pet tiger or something, and she's retired. She's the greatest thief in the world, and she's proven that, and she just gets to chill now. And that's an interesting concept, but what do you do with that? Like, there's not a lot about that premise that makes me super interested in the character, unless I missed another aspect of her. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, her being, retired and out of the game,
Yeah.
that's a little something. But you're also forgetting one crucial fact.
Yeah.
Her apartment got raided. Her friend got kidnapped. There was a whole group of people who had on fits that were very similar to her.
So you think there's more to her story?
There's definitely a lot more than just she was stealing.
At the time of recording this literally just came out last Wednesday. No one knows what the deal is. This is going to be a 6-issue limited series with an absolute Cassandra Cain one-shot that will tie in with this story. Because that makes sense to me.
Yeah, she put up at the end of number 1.
Right.
She put up at the end of number 1.
So that is it's basically a 7-issue miniseries. That was the most unique part of it to me. I was like, what the fuck? Because Cassandra Cain is the enemy that kidnaps her friends at the end. I'm like, whoa, okay. I didn't see that coming, but I don't know. I don't know about Cassandra Cain in general. I don't know if this is like if they have a beef in the comics, in the mainline
No,
comics, or what her deal is. No.
that I'm aware of. No, no, not
Okay,
that I'm aware of. No.
interesting. So it looks like this is going to be original to the Absolute series, and it's not going to play off anything. Interesting. Okay, I do like the action. I think like the chase scene was pretty sick, but that's really like where my thoughts end. I was just like, I read it and I was like, yeah, that was fun. What made you like super interested in it?
It was mostly like seeing her put on that her suit and shit, like her lifestyle. I
Yeah.
was thinking of like at first I was thinking that she was gonna have like like it's like a swapped around like universe that she had like a Batman kind of backstory, but nah, she still had like her struggle beginning and shit, and
Yeah.
she's trying to make sure she doesn't have to go back to what she was.
Right.
She's kind of forced into it.
Yeah, and I do like that's a trope, but it's a good type of story when like the master thief is forced into one last hurrah because someone has insulted their kingdom or whatever, and they have to be dealt with. Like that's always fun. Are you just a sucker for that trope?
Nah, it's more of like Catwoman's character normally is she just can't give up that lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah, I have no
It's
idea
like
what her character usually is because I haven't seen
yeah,
her
it's
like be
like
interesting.
normally she just like she can't like stop being that thief for too long. Like she's always gonna like come back to that some
Oh.
form. So seeing
Okay.
herself here like completely give that up, she doesn't want to be that, but it's kind of like forced onto her.
Yeah.
Then also think about in the past, like what did she have to do that she didn't want to do clearly from the beginning? If
Interesting.
she hasn't seen her friend in like 7 years, I think they said.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? That
Her
makes me go
friend,
higher on it, actually. I had it at a 6 out of 10. I give it up to a 7 out of 10. That's cool. I like the fact that it's not like an obvious trait about the character, but it's a foundational element of their character nonetheless. She is someone who will never settle for anything, and here she's completely settled. That makes me want to see what shift happened in her life to make her get to that point and how it has to do with Cassandra Cain's. You want to keep this in the lineup?
definitely.
Alright, W. That's a W, bro. Next, we're gonna move on to... Let's do Batman. Good issue. I like it. It is building up the whole issue, but it is building up to things that I like, so I'm okay with that.
It didn't really have like it outside like the build up. There wasn't any like actually no. There was one interesting thing for me personally. It was the fact that Damian, the reason he isn't Robin anymore is because he's going to college.
Which, how old is he? Because he looks super young.
14.
Okay, so he's skipping grades, right? Yeah, sure, makes sense. Yeah, it was interesting seeing Damian like in their sparring session, kind of grapple with what he wants to do in his life in general. Because I've never thought about that. I thought he just wanted to kill motherfuckers his whole life, and obviously that's not sustainable. Batman's like you can't just do that. You gotta do something else, man. I also like the fact that Gordon and whoever the other was it Bullock, Sergeant Bullock. Are teaming up because I always thought that Sergeant Bullock was the one who was against Batman and Gordon was the one that was for Batman, but now they're working together because he's like, yeah, this motherfucker corrupt. You gotta deal with them, bro. The Riddler, apparently he just can't stop telling terrible riddles.
Batman said he went straight. He was a CEO until whatever the fuck just happened to him.
Yeah.
Which is probably related to that device that one chick is working on.
Yeah, just can't stop creating, basically, is what it seems like. Because she was talking about, Van Gogh could have painted 30 paintings. And then what? She was talking to the freaky ass Batman villain, the professor, Hugo Strange.
Yeah, I don't know how he's out of prison. I really don't.
You can say that about a lot of politicians. He's like, if you put this on Van Gogh, his genius would have been diluted until it didn't matter, right? And he's like, oh no, we put this on Van Gogh, we could have done 30 paintings. Why don't you want that? Which kind of, I think this is going to end up being a commentary on AI, pretty obviously, right?
I wouldn't put it past it. But at the same time, though, it's like the fact Hugo Strange is like trying to go against it automatically makes me think that this motherfucker knows something he should know.
Yeah, he got something to do. They wouldn't introduce Hugo Strange for no reason.
Him of all people is against it. I don't know. There's gotta be something more about that.
How the fuck they let him on the news though? Like convicted felon on the news.
And I don't know. The president will be on the news. So
I mean, they made Lex Luthor the president. So
I wasn't talking about DC, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I wasn't talking about DC.
Bro, the president is evil in multiple realities. It's crazy.
Yeah, how the
Alright.
president get down to Marvel?
They don't bring up the president too often.
Yeah, they careful as hell.
There was that one Spider-Man issue where he like teams up with Barack Obama for some reason when he was president. Marvel is based in the real world, so whoever is actually president at the time that the stories are coming out is president. Donald Trump could show up in Daredevil. Could be the villain of the next arc, bro.
The negative of the Batman issue, Bernard, and now we move on.
Who is Bernard?
No, we're not discussing Bernard. I was gonna say he's a negative. We're gonna move on.
Bernard is in the issue?
Daredevil. Yes, he is.
Let's go on to Daredevil. This is a setup issue, but I really like it. Daredevil is trying to beat people up around town. He's like, he goes to the crime lord, the Owl, and he's like, give me your fucking information on this guy. And apparently he's like this kind of mysterious, no one really knows how he's affiliated, no one's willing to give that information up, he's too terrifying type of villain. Daredevil pretty quickly figures out he's not after Daredevil, actually. He's after Matt Murdock. He realizes this is in class, so he rushes outside, and he gets swooped up by my boy Peter Parker, bro. But I like that. I like him figuring out that he is going to have to deal with this not as Daredevil, but as Matt. That's interesting to me, because he can strike at him from anywhere. He could, go after his students. He could do anything to torment his life, depending on how much he truly hates this fucking lawyer. I don't have any guesses as to who this would be at all.
Yeah, I got no clue for this shit.
I don't think anyone knows. Like, I haven't seen any guesses online or anything like that. If he's a random guy that, like, Matt Murdock wronged in, like, a criminal trial, I don't have a problem with that either. I think that could work out. Yeah, you're lower on this than me. Why is that?
There wasn't low-key there was a single concept I like. I liked it when he figured it out. It came from his students giving him the idea.
Right, yeah.
That's about it. Like, there was nothing that really made me like, that's cool.
Interesting.
So it's more, I was just going through the motions. So it wasn't necessarily I did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just nothing really made me think, oh, wow. Like, nothing made me, like, stop and think for even a second.
Yeah. I just got excited for it. Like, just seeing Peter. Because I started thinking, what the fuck is Peter doing here?
Yeah, I seen that. I was like, holy shit.
Doesn't he have to go home and have dinner with Paul, bro?
But I said, he's a friendly neighborhood for real. He was just there to save him.
Bro, he scoops him up. Unlike his current comic, Spider-Man is actually well characterized in every comic that is not his own. I think if they keep Spider-Man in the book, he's beating the mess out of this villain so fast. They can't do that. So he gotta go pretty soon. I figure he'll be around for next issue, and then that'll probably be it, like half of next issue. Yeah, I just like where this is going. That's why I rated it so highly.
Now we're moving on to the number one story of the week, Absolute Green Lantern.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
There was too much that got me into this shit.
Oh shit! All right, have you heard about this before we read it?
I did. I heard it was good.
Yeah.
But then when you suggested it, I immediately said, all right, I'm gonna wait to read it then. I'm gonna wait to read it.
No, this is crazy because I've never given a fuck about Green Lantern. It's like a mystery. It's like this ring is possessing him and has this crazy power that won't let him die, that is responsible for countless tragedies. He slimes out a fucking police officer. I can tell you one character that's not getting the Absolute series, Absolute Police Officer, because he got fucking hoed, bro.
So many like other Green Lantern concepts already like subtly being challenged like as we speak already.
Ooh, what do you know about Green Lantern?
Especially like how the powers work consistent. Like it's subtle right here. It's not like out loud just yet, but like the entire time like howls are out and around. The people around him start acting irrationally.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Start having a lot of like fear inside of like the police officer. He immediately starts getting afraid. You're not going to realize it just yet. You're not going to realize it just yet. But once you get into the diner, the old man starts acting the exact same way. Everyone in the diner is acting
I did notice that. I was like, that old man really doesn't fuck with this guy. But then again, I thought it was just because he looks like a druggie. Like,
but then that lady up on quick as hell. Like,
yeah.
Like,
oh, you're right.
Like,
yeah. Okay. W theorizing, Freddie. I didn't even think about that. Hell yeah. All right.
Even the way like they're interacting with like the emotional spectrum is completely different here.
Yeah.
I only thought about that because I don't remember if they said it like. I'm pretty sure it was inside of the thing, but the Green Lantern logo, it has like a straight up a single alien. There's no core, apparently, like in the Absolute universe. There's no Green Lantern core, and this alien is responsible.
They're connected though. They're like a gang, right?
Something like that. All I know is this alien did something to Hal, but this is not willpower. What he has.
What do you make of the last page, the cliffhanger?
I really liked it because it looks like she has that will energy.
And she has power somehow.
Lanterns. And she has the power, but she has no ring.
Right.
I don't see a ring on her finger, so she that's just her.
Yeah.
So she's just tapping into the energy directly.
I just think it's also like, it reminds me of Black Whip from My Hero as well. I don't know if that's a crazy comparison, but when the diner explodes, we get that double page spread. I'm like, oh damn, he got Black Whip. He activated that. He activated the second squirt, bro.
I see. He just thinks clean. I get it.
I do hope he gets it under control, because I think a protagonist that is terrified of their own power and ever using it is gonna get annoying if that goes on for too long. I don't think they will. Like, it's only issue 1. Because
I mostly want to see just how connected that Black is with the entire spectrum as a whole. And he's inside like the Green Lantern logo, so he should be connected with willpower. He apparently gave Hal something that works off of fear. I want to know where that connects at. Main timeline, like fear is always like the opposite of willpower.
Right.
But I really want to see like how this entity connects, like, not just to fear, but like when do like anger come into play, hope, like love, avarice, all that.
Have you read any Green Lantern stories?
Only a few, but I haven't like gotten to like the bigger ones yet, like Darkest Night.
Maybe we'll do Jeff Johns' run. That's really all I have to say on Absolute Green Lantern. It's a pretty simple story about this guy who is just has this power that he doesn't really understand why he's been given it. As a host, I guess maybe there was something special about him that we'll get into in the next few issues that made him the ideal host for this Black Hand power. Well, do you have any other thoughts on Absolute Green Lantern?
Not anymore.
All right. That is another banger episode of Slandertime. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it may be.